I've done a couple of quick things here. I've super glued these two pieces together to test them, to see, number one, can I super glue them together so I can file down a whole boatload of these at the same time, and number two, can I get them back apart once I do get them filed down. So we're going to find that out here shortly. Got my number set here at 218 thousandths, just kind of locked her in. I'm going to ride down that edge and just put a big old score mark, hopefully, into the aluminum here. Wow, that worked like shit. Usually it'll track pretty nice. There we go. I'm just filing down the faces, so hopefully the super glue will stick and it, won't have burrs. The factory edge is on the bottom, so hopefully those will all line up. And then I did both faces, so away we go. And just like that, well, there they are. This group kind of broke apart there somewhere about halfway through the filing, and no big deal. I just file them in groups. This was way better than individually, which is what I did last time. And luckily this came off as a pair here, but they're all matched, by pair, so I'll keep them, close together. I got rid of all the tool marks, so that's sweet, and actually I'm just seeing a couple here because I adjusted the light, but I am keeping track of the rosewood, and I think earlier in the build I referred to this as an ebony fretboard, and I was wrong. This is definitely the piece of rosewood that I bought, so that's sweet. So we'll keep this stuff in a bag, how about that, and use it for patching, whatnot. I've got one blemish. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's see if I can zoom in. Can you see it right there? One little blemish. So it's where, I don't know, something slipped when I was doing the radius and it just zipped the top of the tool. What I'm going to try and do is super glue some of this dust into place and sand that off. It may look a little discolored, but at least it'll be level. I'm more worried about how this one plays than how it looks, although I'll be honest, I want it to look sweet. I don't have a clue what I'm doing. Not bad, not bad, not bad. I think we're going to call that good. The playing surface feels really good. Now that I've got all of that monkey business done, we're going to lay that center line back in. And I am glad I left the sides on there when I routed. There was just a slight amount of tear out. You can't really see it because I filed it, But you know, just made for a nice edge and less worry and all that kind of stuff. But you can see how narrow that neck really is, you know, when it comes down to it. These things are not big. So yeah, we'll use that. Now that we have these lines, we can lay out our inlays. I've got it all laid out there. We kind of go left, right, left, right. Sorry, my hands are dirty. I was working on some vehicles. So we go left, right. Then we get to the 12th, which is kind of the 2 dots. And really, at a 45, 1 dot won't even fit here. You know, trying to squeeze 2 in, just I'll have to scale them down or something. And I thought about it. I really don't want a scaled down version. I want that size. So I'm starting to think, you know, industrial theme. What can we do here? So maybe I'm going to make it more like a rivet. You can see I made a little dent there. You got to use a flashlight to kind of get yourself oriented. I set my depth to a 1/16, so hopefully, I guess we'll just test her and see. That's what we got. It's just slightly over a 1/16 deep, which is fine. We're plenty under an 1/8. There it is with all the main inlay holes cut. So you can see the maybe the pencil lines on the sides. That tells you where the edges of the fretboard will be. And just starting to fit these up, and I'm going to trace all of the actual metal pieces, and we'll start cutting the holes for those. I'm making sure to keep these pieces together so that pieces that were filed in the same group are right next to one another, you know, are in the same deal. So I'm just breaking them apart. I've got my, you can't see it, it's off camera, my sharpening stone, making sure this chisel is as sharp as I can possibly make it. And I'm going around the edges right now, and I've got a housefly bothering me. That's the first one I've seen this year. This is step 2. Some of my buddies warned me about rosewood, thanks guys, and its propensity to sort of self-destruct. I don't know how you want to say it, but bottom line is we're going to take the chisel line and we're going to hit it with the old X-Acto here and maybe try and relieve a little stress on the lumber right there by the edge, you know, get our edge nice, and then deal with the insides by themselves. All the woodworkers probably laughing at me, but I'm finding the chisel works better like this than like this. I don't know. Is that the way you're supposed to do it? I'm sure there's somebody out there probably laughing at the last little segment where I had it the other way around. Either that or they're laughing at me now. I don't know. I guess I kind of have a rule, whatever the hell works best, do that. Because at the end of the day, it's sort of just about what you do, not about how you did it. John Kerry gave me some advice about cutting and fitting and all of that kind of jazz, and I've not used the power tools on this, but you can see we're fitting like stupid tight now, which is awesome. So kind of carved them by hand and then went back and remarked after they were carved. So that one's ready to glue. I think I'm going to go ahead and epoxy it in and make it the test. Second round of 5-minute epoxy coming up. Last time I mixed way too much. So I'm going to show you one of these, start to finish, on how I've been fitting them. So I've just kind of got a rough cut based on the X-Acto knife tracing, and what I've been finding is that the tips don't typically fit in like they're supposed to. So that's kind of the big weak point. So there's that piece. Then that piece, and what I've been finding is I can take a little ball peen hammer, just kind of give it a tappy tap tap, like so, and you know, constantly keeping the pieces in order here. Then I got a little hole punch, or a, sorry, nail set. I can just drive that tip down. And then I can come in and clean this out a little bit. Just like yeah. It doesn't have to be perfectly flush on the bottom, you know. We're epoxying this sucker. We're gonna file it down. So here we go. That piece is in. That piece feels like it fits good. Let's give it a little tappy tap. Like, yeah. That fits nice and tight, guten tight, little German for you. Yeah. So, see, this is where it gets hard when you got too many dang fingers and nowhere for them to go. So that's where I want that. We just kind of hammer it. That shows us where it's going. A little tappy tap with this. Yeah. Then I could see, let's get this out of the way, that there's a little hang up right there. And we'll just kind of clear the crap. Yeah, that lifted. That's I had two little boo-boos. That was one of them on the fretboard, and so I need to super glue that. So we'll super glue that shortly here after we get done carving around it and kind of take the pressure off of it. So there's that, nice and tight. Then that nice and tight. So that's kind of a friction fit there, you know, you can't hardly pull it out. So I'd say that's a winner. 15 minutes later or so, I don't know, didn't take me near as long as I thought it would. I was kind of dreading it, honestly. Went pretty quick. But we're ready to glue up, and I think actually these are all friction fit. I think they'll all, yeah, stay in there. So that's pretty sweet. They're tight. They are really tight. So I'm gonna. There's a fine line between stirring it too much and not enough. Yeah, in 5 minutes you don't have long. But anyway, we'll just dab her in and get moving. All there.